Hello everyone, welcome back to another pre-recorded video here at the Edmonton Hockey Channel. Today's video, we're doing the first half of our bold prediction series. We're doing a bold prediction for each and every Western Conference team. We'll get to the entire Western Conference and my bold predictions for this upcoming 24-25 season coming up right now. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here at the Edmonton Hockey Channel. Before we get into the video, don't forget to like this video and subscribe down below. Thank you for all your support. We're able to with all of you guys. So if you haven't already, don't forget the subscribe button down below and don't forget to leave a comment on the comment section below so you can also listen to this video. Now, I haven't done one of these videos I think ever before, so I wanted to do this one this year. So I'm basically going to be looking at the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference, going through each and every team and listing a bold prediction I have for each of these teams. So some of these could be player based, some of these could be team based, so some of these will differ. Some of them are really good bold predictions in my opinion. Some of these are rather bad, so don't forget to stay tuned for the entire video as I list all of the teams in the Pacific and the Central Division and give you my bold predictions for each and every team. So we're going to start with the Pacific, end with the Central, and go via my current standings projections for next year, so how I think the standings will go. So we're going to start here with the Edmonton Oilers. Now, my bold prediction for the Edmonton Oilers is, after all the offseason moves, we know they improved offensively, defensively they're in rough shape. I'm not sure if they're going to get another defenseman to start the season or at some point in season, but my bold prediction for the Edmonton Oilers is they're going to be a top 3 team goal scoring wise. They were 4th overall last year, so they're going to be in the top 3. I would not be surprised if they were the top team in the goal scoring department, but they're also going to be a bottom 10 team in the goals against department. So my bold prediction for the Oilers is they're going to have one of, if not the best offense in the NHL this year, potentially putting up even record numbers after that offense got even better in the offseason. But their defense is going to be rather bad. I'm not going to say it's in the bottom 5 or anything, but it is going to be on the rather bad side of things. So in my predictions for the Edmonton, my bold prediction is that the Oilers are going to have a lethal offense and be in the top 3 in the offensive category, but in the goals against the department will be in the bottom 10. So that's my bold prediction for the Edmonton Oilers. My bold prediction for the Vegas Golden Knights is, we know this past year they lost Jonathan Marchessault, Chandler Stevenson. They have some holes to fill in their top 6. Well, my bold prediction is that both Brendan Brisson, who's a former Vegas first-round pick, and Alex Holtz, they acquired in a trade with New Jersey Devils earlier this year, will both get top 6 roles and will both be able to be 50-plus point players and 20-plus goal players. So I have my bold prediction for Vegas being Brisson and Holtz nabbing top 6 roles and both running with it, being 20 goal scorers at least and 50-point players at least. So I think that would be a really good boost there for Vegas. Seeing Brisson and Holtz be really good top 6 forwards would be huge because this team doesn't have a whole bunch of really good young prospects or players. So to see those two take roles and run with it this year would be fantastic for Vegas. So that's my prediction for the Vegas Golden Knights. Bold prediction is that Brisson and Holtz are both 20 goal, 50-point players in the top 6 for Vegas. My bold prediction for Vancouver Canucks is Elias Pettersson has a bounce back season. He hits at least 110 points, if not a little bit more, this upcoming season, playing on a line primarily with Jake DeBrusk, who's going to have a 35-plus goal season. So that's my predictions for the Vancouver Canucks. At this point in time, I think Pettersson's going to have a bounce back season. There was a lot of concerns about him towards the end of last year, and the playoffs didn't look overly good. I think he's going to make a statement this year, bounce back, have a fantastic season, hit at least 110 points, and playing with Jake DeBrusk, who just acquired in free agency. I think that's going to be a dynamic duo that's going to see Pettersson hit 110 points and DeBrusk 35, if not maybe even 40 goals. So that's my bold prediction for the Canucks. My bold prediction for the Seattle Kraken is that this team bounced back in the goal scoring department and hits the top 10 in the goal scoring department. So they're a top 10 team goal scoring wise. On top of that, Philip Grubauer, who has not fit in overly well in Seattle, has his best season as a Kraken and has at least a 918 save percentage. So my bold prediction for the Seattle Kraken is that not only is their offense really good, it looks lethal, it's amazing, it's back in the top 10 again for the first time since I think a couple of years ago. But on top of that, Grubauer has his best season as Seattle and is able to push the core for the starting role again. So in my opinion, that's my bold prediction for the Kraken. My bold prediction for the LA Kings is that they will miss the playoffs, which is a little bit of a bold prediction right now, and they move at least one big piece by the trade deadline. Now, I'm not sure exactly how big of a piece that is, or if it's a Penny UFA or someone with term, but I think they will move one big piece at the trade deadline. Like, they will sell off one piece. So whether that's a UFA like Vladislav Gavrikov, or a more prominent piece like a Philip Deneau or Trevor Moore or a Drew Doughty maybe even, I'm not sure, but I do think they will move at least one big piece by the trade deadline, and I do think they will be a team who misses the playoffs this year. So that's my bold prediction for the Kings. My bold prediction for the Anaheim Ducks is, at this point in time, they will move Trevor Zegras by the trade deadline. Now, I think they will have a little bit of a better season. They'll be a little more competitive, but I think the offers for Trevor Zegras in the season will just be way too good to pass up. So my bold prediction for the Ducks is Zegras will be dealt by the deadline, and he will be in new colors come the trade deadline. So that's my bold prediction for the Ducks. My bold prediction for the Calgary Flames at this current point in time is that they are a bottom 3 team in the NHL, so they will not only be a little bit worse than last year, they will be bottom 3, have really good odds to win the draft lottery, and on top of that, Dustin Wolf will be fantastic in net, replacing Jacob Markstrom, who's now been dealt. He will have a .920 save percentage or higher, and that will probably put him in the Calder conversation. You don't usually see goaltenders get there, but I could see a .920 save percentage put Wolf into a really good team. Now, as much as he's going to have a really good save percentage, this team's not overly good, so I also expect them to be a bottom 3 team in the NHL. So that's my prediction for the Flames. Bold prediction is that Wolf has a .920 save percentage or better, but this team is a bottom 3 team in the NHL. And lastly, for the San Jose Sharks, my bold prediction for them is that both Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith have 50-plus point seasons, which lead them to being in the final conversation for the Calder Trophy. Now, I'm not sure if this will be top 3 or top 5 in the Calder Trophy race, but I think both will have 50-plus point seasons, which is really good because I don't think the Sharks had a 50-plus point player besides Mikael Granlund last year, so they both have 50-plus point seasons as rookies and are both in the Calder conversation towards the end of the season. So interesting to note there, but that's my prediction for the Sharks, is that Celebrini and Will Smith were probably going to be their 1-2 punch down the middle this year. Both have 50-plus seasons and are in the Calder Finalist conversation, so interesting to note there. Going over to the Central Division, we'll start with the Dallas Stars. My bold prediction for them is that Logan Stankoven will hit 50-plus points playing with Robertson and Hintz on the top line. He'll basically be the Joe Pavelski replacement. Pavelski, who has been hitting 60 to 80 points over the past couple of years playing with Robertson and Hintz, is now retired, so they need someone to play with them. Stankoven showed really good flashes last year, so my bold prediction is that he replaces Pavelski on that top unit, and he thrives with Robertson and Hintz. So that's my bold prediction for the Dallas Stars. My bold prediction for the Nashville Predators is that they have 4 40-plus goal scorers in this upcoming season. Now, I think this is a little bit out there. It probably won't happen, but I mean, you have a 40-goal scorer in Philip Forsberg, who's joining that team, plus you have a 40-goal scorer in Philip Broberg. You have a 40-goal scorer in Philip Forsberg, plus 2 40-goal scorers in Marshall and Stamkos, who are now joining that team. If one other player can hit 40 goals, whether that be a guy like Ryan O'Reilly, Gus Nyquist, Evangelista, Novak, there's a lot of really good players on that Preds team. So if one of those guys can also hit 40 goals, and those 3 replicate their performances from last year in Vegas, Tampa, and Nashville, I think that could be a very likely option where the Preds have 4 40-plus goal scorers. So that's my bold prediction for the Preds. Bold prediction for the Avalanche is an interesting one due to a contract extension. It is that Mikko Rantanen will not have a contract extension with the Colorado Avalanche by the season's end. It's going to be another sort of like the Gabriel Landeskog situation where they had to wait until right before the agency to sign him. Now, I'm not saying that he won't sign with the Avalanche. I'm just saying that by the season's end for the Colorado Avalanche, they will not have a Mikko Rantanen extension done for Mikko Rantanen. So that's my bold prediction for the Avalanche. My bold prediction for the Utah franchise in their first year in the league is 1, Cooley will have a 70-plus point season in his second year. 2, Keller will have a 40-plus goal season, his first ever 40-plus goal season if I'm correct. And 3, this team will make the playoffs this year. Now, as much as Utah is formerly of the Arizona Coyotes, this team's completely different now, much stronger, much better. I expect Keller to have a much better season than he did last year and be a 40-plus goal scorer. I think Cooley's going to take another step, have a 70-plus point season, both those two playing on the top line, and I think this team's poised to be a team who winds up making the playoffs. So that's my bold prediction for the Utah franchise. My bold prediction for the Minnesota Wild is that Kaprizov will, for the first time in his career, hit the 50-plus goal mark, and Brock Faber will take his next step in his development, hitting 60-plus points as a defenseman. So that's my predictions for the Wild. I think Kaprizov is poised to hit a 50-goal season. He's hit 40 to 45, maybe even I think 47 over the past couple of seasons. I think he's poised to be a 50-plus goal scorer, maybe even hit 55. For Faber, he had a very fantastic season last year. I think he's poised for another fantastic season this year, and I think with a little more of a healthier blue line for the Minnesota Wild, he'll hit 60 plus points this year. So that's my current bold predictions for the Minnesota Wild. My bold predictions for the Winnipeg Jets is that they will be sellers at this year's trade deadline. And on top of that, they will move at least 3 players and miss the playoffs this year. So after a solid season last year, I think they will miss the playoffs, and I think there will be sellers. I could see pending UFAs like a Kaapo Kähkönen or Nikolai Ehlers wind up being dealt. There's a couple of other guys who could be dealt. On the defensive end, you have a guy like Neil Pionk. You have a guy like Colin Miller. You have Nino Niederreiter. I think you have Mason Appleton, who's not too far away from being a UFA. So there's a lot of guys in Winnipeg who I think could potentially be moved. So I think they move at least 3 players, are sellers at the trade deadline, and they will miss the playoffs this year after making it last year. So that's my bold prediction for the Jets. Bold prediction for the St. Louis Blues. It's plain and simple. Colin Parayko will not be on the team and will be dealt at some point next year. I think the Blues will still be a really good team, but I think at this point they know they need to make some moves on the blue line. Parayko's name's been out there for the past year and a half. I think there's a very likely chance Parayko could get moved. I think even though they'll have a decent season, they will get to a point in the season where they will try and move some players, and I think Parayko is going to be one, and I think a lot of people will have some major interest in a good guy like Parayko, and I think at one point Parayko will get dealt. So my bold prediction for the Blues is that Colin Parayko, who's a top 4 defenseman there right now, will get dealt at some point in the season. And lastly, for the Chicago Blackhawks to finish up the Western Conference, I have Bedard hitting at least 90 plus points this year in his second season in the NHL, and the Blackhawks adding pieces at the trade deadline. So they may still make some moves, move off some pending UFAs, but I think Bedard's going to have a monster season this year in his second season, hit 90 plus points, potentially even 40 plus goals, and I think they will make some moves. I think they will probably not add something major, but I think they will move like maybe a second round pick or a decent prospect or something like that to a team to try and improve and get someone who's not going to help them for now, but will also help them for the future, like someone who's on like a 2 to 3 year deal who could really help them improve for not only this year but for the next couple of years too. So that's my bold predictions for each and every team in the Western Conference. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on these 16 bold predictions down in the comment section below. Which one do you think is the most likely to happen? Which one do you think is least likely to happen? Which one do you think is most surprising in your opinion? And which one do you think is the most likely to wind up happening? Definitely love to hear your guys' thoughts on all of that down in the comment section below. So I'm going to talk for today. We're going to like this video. If you like it, subscribe down below. Thank you for all your support. We're now with you guys. So if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe button down below. And don't forget to leave a comment down in the comment section below so I can also discuss today's video. Also a blog, talking about news, rumors, analysis, stuff like that, so check that out. I'll leave a link down in the description below. And I can't wait to see you guys all for the next video. See you guys soon.